Hey everyone, Maya here from MaiStoryBook, and welcome back to MaiStoryBook's Book a Day series featuring Asian Pacific American children's books. This is our second book in the series, and it is called Mela and the Elephant. And this children's book is going to be about a little girl who lives in Thailand, another country in Asia. Now, I know the book we read yesterday also had some Thai in it, but that one was written by a Vietnamese author and was about how children communicate with people in their family who speak different languages because they're from different places, right? Well, this one actually is going to take place in Thailand, and we're going to join this little girl, Mela, on an adventure. So I mentioned how Thailand is another country in Asia. My friends, have you been to a country in Asia before? Which ones? Wow, did you like your stay there? What did you do there? Wow. I've been to some countries in Asia. I've been to Vietnam before because I'm half Vietnamese. I've also been to the Philippines. I'm also half Filipino. I haven't been to Thailand before, but I know it's a gorgeous country. So in this story, we're going to get a sneak peek into what it looks like in the countryside of Thailand, where there's more jungles and small villages, so not a lot of big buildings and cities. But what we see in this story isn't what all of Thailand looks like. Just like here in the United States, where there's some areas where it's just mostly country and nature and not many people around. There's places like that in Thailand that we're going to see here. But also just like here, how there's big cities and towers and buildings, they also have those places in Thailand too, like big downtown areas with lots of people and lots of buildings and cars and everything. So, like we saw in the other book though, they speak a different language. They speak Thai in Thailand. This book is going to be in English so that we can read along, but just pay attention to what you notice about the background, the setting of the story, and maybe also look at the clothes they're wearing, the animals you see. Those are going to be animals that you could find in Thailand. So pay attention to all those things and see what you notice in the illustrations. You can learn a lot from the pictures. This book is also going to teach us an important lesson, and there's a special Thai saying that goes along with this lesson, and there's an English version of it too. So we're going to read about it and figure out what it is as we read this story. Then we'll talk about it after. Well, before we begin, quick look at this cover. What animal do you see here? An elephant, right? Well, if we take a quick look at our background in our reading studio today, you'll see I have our jungle plant. I kind of think this is like a jungle plant because it has a whole variety, a whole bunch of different leaves and plants in this one little pot. So I call it my little jungle pot. See? And then you're going to notice a new craft in the background that we'll talk a little bit more about the end of our book when we go over the crafts. But you'll see the elephants here, and they'll even see they'll say acts of kindness, which gives you a clue that this book is going to have to do with acts of kindness. And I wanted to show you, I even have my own special elephant heart necklace on today. It's a heart shaped like a little elephant, if you can see, and I thought it matched with this book perfectly since this book is about kindness and it has an elephant in it. I thought a little elephant heart would be cool. So friends, if you want to grab some elephant things that you have, then those would be good reading buddies to have for this story. So you can go ahead and pause if you want to go grab some elephant things. All right. Well, if you grab some, let me see. Those are very nice elephant things. Well, I think we are ready to get started. Are you ready? Let's begin. The title of today's interactive read aloud is Mela and the Elephant, written by Dow Phumiruk and illustrated by Ziyue Chen. So, Dow Phumiruk is the person who wrote all the words in the story, and Ziyue Chen drew all of the pictures you are about to see. 2 names on the cover. Different author, different illustrator. It's pretty cool how they work together, though, to make one book, huh? Now, let's take a look at the cover here. What do you notice? Nice noticing, friends. You are getting so good at seeing all those little details on the covers and pictures. I'm noticing the title first, Mela and the Elephant. And what do you notice coming out of the title? Little leaves, kind of like a jungle, right? And I saw that you noticed here there was what kind of animal? An elephant. My friends, have you ever seen an elephant in real life before? You might have seen one at the zoo. I've seen some at the zoo. I even saw a baby elephant one time. Super cute. Have you seen a baby elephant? What do you think? Yeah, they're cute. What's going on top of this elephant? There's a little girl kind of holding on tight. How does the little girl feel? Happy to be with the elephant. And what is the setting of this story, or at least on this cover, my friends? Setting means the background, where the story is happening. Where are they? Yeah, I see some leaves here. Kind of looks like leaves from my jungle plant almost a little bit. And some grassy fields here, so somewhere out in the wilderness. Mela and the elephant. I wonder, what do you think the story is going to be about? What is Mela going to do with the elephant? Nice predictions. Nice guessing what you think is going to happen. Well, ready to read and find out? Okay, let's get started. So here's our title page. Remember, the title page has the title of our book, Mela and the Elephant, our author and illustrator, Dow Phumiruk and Ziyue Chen, and it was published by Sleeping Bear Press. So that means Sleeping Bear Press helped make the book. So it's kind of like a three-way partnership, right? You have the author, the illustrator, and the publisher, and they all work together to make a book and print it out for you and me to read together. And wow, I'm looking at this cover page, my friends, and I am seeing a lot more of the setting. What are you noticing about the setting of this story, the background, where this story is taking place? A lot more clues here. Yeah, I see. It kind of looks like they're near the ocean or something. There's some water. I don't know if it's an ocean or a lake or river. It's kind of hard to tell. But I can see it's water. Here's the ground and lots of trees. And these vines kind of make me think of the jungle, right? Beautiful place though, huh? All right. And I'm seeing, this looks like the girl from the cover. And what do you think that is? Maybe her little brother or something, right? And even before looking at the words, I can look at their expressions on their face. So what their face looks like, that shows us how they're feeling. And how's little brother feeling? Not too happy. And sister? Seems like she's maybe waving goodbye or something, but looks like she's going somewhere. Is little brother going with her? Doesn't look like it. Let's read the words. Mela set out to explore the banks of the Ping River near home. Oh, so I'm thinking that water we saw on the title page was the river. Her little brother followed to the edge of the yard, hoping she'd take him along. Does it look like she takes him though? Well, what will you give me if I take you? Asked Mela. But he had nothing to offer. Then you stay home, Mela announced. Is that very kind? No, right? It seems like she only wanted to let him come if he gave her something in return. Now, I know sometimes, my friends, that we do trade things, and sometimes that's fair, right? Like if you do something for me, then I can do something for you and we can trade. But it seems like brother just wanted to go with her, and she said, nope, not unless you can give me something. What do you think would have been a kind thing to do instead? Let him come with her, right? It doesn't seem like she wants him to come. Before we turn the page, I'm also looking in the background at these houses over here, and what do you notice about them? Yeah. What material do you think they're made out of? What does it look like they're made out of? I see some wood, right? And the roofs kind of look like they're made out of, not straw, but maybe some kind of branches or something, some kind of thing from nature. And I noticed that the houses aren't on the ground, right? They're on these poles. So different way to make houses. Different countries have different ways to make houses. But remember, not all of Thailand looks like this, just this one area where this village is. Ooh, what is Mela doing? Fishing on a river. She turned and skipped along the road and across the grassy field before reaching this steep riverbank. So steep means that it goes down really quick. So if you're on a hill and it's steep, it looks like this. If it wasn't steep, then it would go like this, more even, right? Steep means that it goes like straight down or straight up. She reached this steep riverbank. So riverbank is where the river meets the land, and it's really steep to get down there. She watched the water sparkle and splash below. Mela hurried down to the river's edge. When she reached the dock, so when she reached that area right between the water and the land, she saw a large fish swimming by. And what does she decide to do when she sees that fish? Looks like she is going to jump in her boat and try to grab that fish, huh? My friends, have you ever gone fishing before? Yeah? What did you use to catch your fish? Yeah, I've gone fishing before, and I used a fishing pole to catch my fish. It's like this long, skinny pole with a line, and you throw it in and you catch the fish. What's the most fish you've ever caught? Wow. Well, what does it look like Mela is using to catch her fish? Looks like she's using a net. What a fine dinner that fish would make, Mela thought. So it looks like she's planning to eat that fish. My friends, have you ever eaten the fish that you caught? And even if you haven't caught fish before, my friends, do you like to eat fish? Some people do, some people don't. I like to eat fish. What kind of fish do you like to eat if you do like to eat fish? Ooh, those are good kinds. I like to eat salmon, catfish, tuna, sushi. Delicious. So she thinks that fish is going to make a fine dinner, so she hopped into her uncle's boat. She grabbed his net and tossed it far into the river to scoop up this silvery fish. But moments later, she was drifting swiftly downstream. So swiftly means quickly downstream. My friends, can you get your hand and go swiftly downstream? You try. 3, 2, 1, swiftly downstream. So downstream sounds like the river's pushing her. The water's running downwards, down the stream. And my friends, is she planning to go that far downstream, you think? Hope she knows where she's going. Uh-oh. I'm looking at this picture and I'm looking at her face, how she's feeling, and how is she feeling right there? She's looking a bit worried, right? Why do you think she might be worried? I think maybe she's going too far down the river. The current was too strong, so the water was too strong to paddle back, and before she knew it, Mela was swept deep into the dense jungle. So dense means really thick. Jungle. They're so thick with trees that you can't even see in between the trees. They're all clumped together. Oh no, my friends, do you think she's ever been that deep into the jungle? I don't think so. What do you think she's gonna do? Well, after a long while, the boat caught against a tangle of tree roots. Oh, so now at least she's not moving anymore. Mela stepped onto a large rock, so she's getting out of the boat. And she craned her neck. So craned, it means to stretch your neck up really tall to try to see something. My friends, can you try that? Can you crane your neck? Pretend you got to see something way over there. Nice craning. So Mela craned her neck to look back up the river. She was a long way from home. Sounds like she is lost. My friends, why can't you just get back in her boat and go back up the river? That's right, huh? The current, the water's too strong, pushing downwards. It's kind of hard to go opposite, to go up when the water's pushing you the other way. Sounds like she's going to have to find a different way to get home. So it looks like she's going to have to walk home, my friends. And what animal does she find along the way? Looks like a leopard. Do you think this is going to be helpful, leopard? Let's see. Mela looked around her. Tall trees blocked out most of the sun's light, so can she see very well? Probably kind of dark. Leaves stirred overhead and the river rushed at her side. Do you see the river? Yeah, point to it. Yep, it's right over here. So it's not far from the river. She pointed herself upstream and started to walk. Oh, so that's how she's going to try to make her way back. She's going to go the opposite way of the river. She's going to follow it back upstream. She can't go on the water, but she can walk next to it. And that's smart, right? Because she went down the river to get back. She must go back up the same way. A leopard then slinked into sight. So slowly walked into sight. Slinked. My friends, can you walk slowly like a leopard? You might have to get on all fours and slink like a leopard. That means walk slowly, putting your paws one at a time. Let me see you slink. Nice slinking, just like a leopard. Leopard, I am lost. Do you know a way back to the village? So she's asking Leopard for help. You think Leopard's gonna help? Yes? No? Well, I hope so. I do, says Leopard. What will you give me if I show you? That question sounds familiar, huh? What will you give me if I show you? Why does that question sound so familiar? That's right, because that's what Mela asked her brother in the beginning, right? Well, what will you give me if I take you? Mela thought for a moment, and it looks like she's going to give the leopard something. Look at the pictures. What is she going to give the leopard if the leopard helps her? Her sweater? Well, you can have my sweater. It will keep your cubs warm, your baby leopards warm on a cool night. So Mela's going to give this sweater, so Leopard should help her, right? Sweater in exchange for help. Mela held her sweater out for the leopard to see, but tells me that something is going to go differently than what was planned. Uh-oh. But the leopard snatched it up, so he snatched up this sweater and leaped away. Oh, wait a minute. What was Leopard supposed to do if Mela gave him something? He was supposed to help her. Did he follow up with his end of the deal? Did he do what he said he would? No. He just took the sweater and left without even helping. Is that kind? No way. That's not fair at all. Now Mela doesn't even have her sweater. Oh, ooh, what animal does she see next? Some monkeys. Do you think these monkeys will be helpful? I hope so, right? How foolish of me, she said. Oh, how silly of me. I should have known better than to give the leopard my sweater. She sighed, and she walked on and found a narrow path, a skinny path. Soon she was surrounded by towering trees wrapped with ropey vines. So vines are these long plants, and as you can see, the monkeys can hold on to them. 3 monkeys dangled overhead. 1, 2, 3. Monkeys, can you show me a way through the trees and back to my village? Mela asked. Well, what will you give us if we help you? One chattered. So it sounds like these monkeys might help her, but only if what? Only if Mela gives them something. Well, I'm thinking, my friends, is that true kindness if you help someone, but only if they do something for you first? Not really, especially if that someone really needs help and you don't really need anything in return. It's being kind of selfish, right? Thinking about yourself too much and not about others. Looking at the picture, what does it look like Mela's going to give him? Her backpack? Well, I hope there's nothing too important in there. Mela held out her backpack. Well, you can have this pack to carry fruit as you travel through the jungle, but... Oh no, that word again tells me something's not going to go as planned. And if I think back to the leopard, my friends, what do you think might happen with these monkeys? Oh, let's see. But the biggest monkey grabbed it from her and they all swung away. Oh no, my friends, so did they help Mela? No, what did they do? They just took her things and left without helping again. How is Mela ever going to find her way back home? Oh, my friends. How does Mela feel? How can you tell? She's crying, right? She's got tears. Mela slumped to the ground and began to cry. So slumped means to kind of crumble your body down. My friends, can you try that? Slump down. Yeah. When you're feeling sad, you kind of slump down. Mela slumped to the ground and began to cry. Night was falling and soon darkness would settle over the jungle. She shivered. So shivered sounds like she's cold. And does she have her sweater anymore? What happened to her sweater? Do you remember? The leopard took it, right? How would she get home now? And then, what animal does she see? An elephant. Kind of reminds me of the elephant from the cover. And do you think this elephant is going to be helpful and kind? I have a feeling that maybe it will be, especially that cover gave me a hint, right? Soon, she heard the rustling and snapping of branches. An elephant lumbered its way towards her. So lumbered means to take big, slow steps. My friends, can you try to lumber? Maybe take big, slow steps with your feet and lumber like an elephant. Let me see it. Nice lumbering. And what do you notice here? Yeah, you're right. Kind of looks like the cover. And does it look like elephants helping Mela? It does. Child, are you lost? The elephant asked. I will give you a ride to the village. Mela cried even harder. But I have nothing left to offer you. I have nothing left to give you to help me. Well, it would make my heart happy to help you, the elephant said. I don't need anything in return. Wait a minute. So does the elephant want Mela to give him something? No, why not? What does elephant say about why he might want to help her? Because it would make his heart happy. He doesn't need Mela to give him anything to help her, right? Because just by helping her, that is what's going to make him happy. That's going to make him feel good inside, a happy heart. He lowered his trunk for Mela to climb onto his great warm back. And he carried her all the way to the village. And how does Mela feel about this very kind elephant? Yeah. Mela slid from the elephant's back, grateful to be home. She pressed her palms together in thanks and felt the elephant's strong trunk embrace her. So give her a hug. Embrace means hug. Thank you, she said. So here she is saying thank you. And this reminds me of kind of how Grandpa and the little boy greeted each other in yesterday's book, Drawn Together, right? You put your hands together and you give a little bow. That's also another way to give thanks to someone, especially someone you respect, someone you really care about. So my friends, do you want to try? Put your hands together and then just give a little bow, kind of like Mela is. That's another way to say thank you to someone, a very respectful way. And hey, what's going on here? Who's that? Looks like Mela and her brother. The next morning, Mela's brother asked to see the riverbank where her adventure had begun, so her forest adventure. And does Mela take him this time? It looks like it. And do you think she asked her brother to give her something in return? I don't think so. I think she learned a lesson from that elephant. I'll take you, Mela said, and together they set off to explore. Mela remembered what the elephant had taught her. If you see these words in purple here, this is what the elephant taught Mela. You ready? Kindness needs no reward, for it brings happiness and warmth to the heart. From then on, Mela offered many kindnesses to others, asking nothing in return. So it sounds like what she learned from the elephant changed how she lived, her way of living. When you're doing something kind for someone else, my friends, it's kind because you're doing it out of love for the other person, because you care. You're not doing it because you want something back. That's not kindness. That's just doing a trade. And a trade's just normal. It's like you get something, I get something back. But that's not being kind. Kind is doing something without asking for something back. And you do it because it makes you feel warm and happy inside. It makes your heart feel happy. And I bet you it makes the other person feel happy too. My friends, can you give me an example of something you did that was kind to someone else? So remember, that means you did it just to help them out, just to make them feel good and yourself feel good for doing it. You didn't ask for anything in return. So can you give me an example of one time you did something kind like that? Wow, that is very kind. What is something that you can do that is kind today? Something that you'll do for someone else without asking for anything back, just to help them feel good and to help your heart feel happy. What's something you can do? That's a good idea. Make sure you do it today. Let's spread some kind acts, just like the elephant taught Mela. The end. So that was our story of Mela and the elephant and our acts of kindness. My friends, what was your favorite part of this story? Those are good parts. It was cool to see all the animals in the jungle that Mela met. So what were some of the animals, remember, that we saw? So these are animals that live in Thailand that are native to there. That means they're naturally there, living in the wild. Leopards, monkeys, elephants. It looked like there was lots of forests and jungles in that area of Thailand, right? And remember, this book was teaching us about kindness. And there's actually a Thai saying that inspired this book. And at the end of the book, there's a little note from the author. He says that in the story, Mela learns that kindness needs no reward. And there's a Thai saying that goes along with this. The Thai saying is, place gold on Buddha's back. So that Thai saying, place gold on Buddha's back, means kindness needs no reward. If you're doing something kind, you don't need something back in return. The reason they say place gold on Buddha's back is because Buddha is a religious figure that some people believe in, kind of like some people believe in God, some people believe in Buddha. And when they say put gold on Buddha's back, means that if you're going to give a gift to Buddha, say there's a statue of Buddha, put the gold on his back. That way you're giving something to Buddha, you're doing something kind, but you're not showing it off to everyone else. Like, look at me, I'm putting gold here, watch me do it. If you put it on his back, you're doing it where no one can see, so no one will know you're doing something kind and giving gold away. You're not doing it so others will see and think you're good. You're just doing it because you know you did it and it makes you feel good inside. No one else can see. Buddha might not even know you're doing it because you're putting it on his back. But that's not what matters. What matters is you're doing something kind for someone else and you're not expecting anything back. You're just doing it because you know they will like it and that it will make you happy inside too. So that's kind of a cool connection about what inspired this story. Speaking of acts of kindness, my friend, I want to show you the craft that goes along with this book because it is about acts of kindness. So for this week's craft, we have our elephant kindness trunks. And if you see, that looks like an elephant and it has a trunk here. And I chose the elephant because elephant from this story. And on it, it actually has the two sayings from the story. Place gold on Buddha's back and kindness needs no rewards, to remind us about what is a truly kind act. Something you do where you don't expect something in return. And right here is where you can put your name and you're going to record your own acts of kindness on the elephant trunk here. So on this trunk, there's 4 different spaces to write some acts of kindness. I have some examples written on it that you can fill in, like kind people, like a kind act would be standing up for friends, or I teach others, teaching someone something, I take care of the earth, I make others smile, and below you can fill in what kind thing you did that fits that category, that act of kindness. And at the bottom, you can glue a heart that says, when I share acts of kindness, I feel, how do you feel? Happy, proud, excited, good about yourself. So this is just a fun way to record your acts of kindness and share them and remind yourself to do things without expecting something back in return. And the cool thing is you can make your trunk as long as you want. You could always print out another trunk and tape it on, and you can grow your trunk as long as you can, as many acts of kindness you can do. There's also, of course, always a black and white version that you can color in, whatever colors you want. There's also one where you can draw pictures of the kind acts that you did and say how you felt when you did them. So as always, my friends, the instructions for these crafts can be found on my blog, MaiStoryBook.com, by clicking on that link down below. There you'll also find other reading resources to go along with our story and resources that go along with other books. If you do make your own elephant kindness trunks craft, or you want to share your own acts of kindness with me, my friends, I'd love to hear from you and hear what kindness you are spreading. Please reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, on the blog, on YouTube, email me. All those social media links can be found down below. I love hearing from you, and especially I like hearing how friends spread kindness to others too. Also, be sure to subscribe to my MaiStoryBook YouTube channel by clicking that subscribe button to keep up with all of our reading adventures. We still have the rest of this week to go to share some Asian Pacific Heritage Month read-alouds with you. So I hope you join us and click on that subscribe button to follow along. All right, well, we are coming to the end of today's read aloud, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this reading adventure. I'm excited to share our next one tomorrow, but until then, make sure that you are spreading your acts of kindness. Double thumbs up if you are going to do something kind today. Awesome. I can't wait to hear about it, so please do share with me. So until tomorrow, my friends, share your acts of kindness. Stay safe and healthy as always. Enjoy your time with your family that you have right now, and happy reading.